Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively we are the Office Blokes, and we're currently binging these compilations. Best towns, worst towns.
Yeah, we like a bit of that, don't we?
I've had quite a few people get in touch and say, we love you reacting to like American things and stuff, but we also want to learn a bit about where you're from, and can you react to more British things?
If you follow me on Instagram, you find out loads of shit where we're from. Right, Dave?
It's true, yeah. So 10 best towns in England. We alluded to this on one of the other ones. Altrincham, where we are, usually is on these lists in the newspapers and Rightmove, and
it normally gets voted one of the best places to live in the UK.
Yeah,
it does.
It's usually in the top 2.
Yes, it usually does pretty well, doesn't it?
It's usually because I live here.
Well, it must be,
it's gone off the list since I moved out.
Went downhill.
Went to number 3 when I moved out.
But it's the fastest growing property prices outside of London.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is not to be sniffed at.
A bit pricey, aren't they?
Yeah. So if we're not on this, going to be annoyed. And
it's only his opinion, though. He might never have been here.
Yeah, he just goes, special mention, that Altrincham shit in there.
We're going to keep doing them, so we're on one.
Yeah, pretty much. Right, so let's do it. The 10 best towns in England. Let's do this.
The 10 best towns in England. England is such a beautiful country because there are so many beautiful places there. There are so many good towns that you'd love. Although not big, they're convenient and flourish in culture. That's why the entire country boasts of more heritage towns. I'm excited to show you the 10 best towns in England to illustrate my point. One thing I've found is this. The best towns in England are oftentimes the most cultured. Please note that one good thing about England is that it has a whole heap of diverse towns spread across, each with its own charm. Thus, my position about the 10 best towns in England is just my personal opinion. I respect other people's rights to express their dissent.
Oh, we will.
10. Maldon. Let's add that Maldon, one of the 10 best towns in England and the seat of the Maldon district, is a town and civil parish.
I don't know where it is.
It's also the starting point of the famous Chelmer and Blackwater navigation. This beautiful town, renowned for Maldon's sea salt being produced in the area, has been ranked one of the best places in the UK by several sources. The 2016 Halifax Quality of Life Survey ranked Maldon as the 36th best place to live in the UK, using measures such as residents' health and life expectancy, employment and median income. If it enjoys such ranking among the towns of England in the entire United Kingdom, you should naturally expect it to be among my best towns in England. 9. Hart.
Never heard of it.
Hart is featuring here on another one of my listings, the 10 best towns in England. The town in southeast England passed as one of the best for accommodation in.
I think they've both been southeast so far, haven't they? That's
Maldon's
why.
Kent, right?
But
when it says Shakespeare, that's Warwickshire.
But if you said it's sea salt, then that's definitely I think that's southeast that they do that.
Been sort of Dorset or something, but I don't know.
It's quite cliffy and hilly Dorset, isn't it, on the coast?
Dorset might be in there with Poole.
Maybe.
That's the town. Poole might be on there.
Hampshire. Life expectancy is higher here in Hart. Almost all of the locals enjoy good or fairly good health. You can live a meaningful life that'll enhance your health here. The good weather in this town contributes to that good health of the residents. Hart is one of the best towns in England because it's also among the wealthiest. It's a place where you can earn big with reduced hours of work. If Hart counts as one of the best towns in the UK, it's certainly one of the best towns in England. 8. Frome.
That's definitely Somerset, I think.
Frome. It's pronounced.
Yeah, it is Somerset.
It's supposed to be really. I've never been, but it's supposed to be really, really nice there.
Yeah, I've been down there.
Graham Paul's from there, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
To be fair, that whole area, Somerset, is just beautiful. There's so many little towns there that are just
the
stunning.
accent.
I like it.
If you're a scarecrow.
I remember I've been to Glastonbury, the town, quite a few times, and I remember people being like, that's the rough part of Glastonbury over there, and I was like, is it? You go there and it's just not, especially with the accent. If someone tries to say something to you, you're like, you sound like a pirate.
Frome, a town and civil parish in eastern Somerset, is another one of the best towns in England. The town, whose 2011 population census was given as 26,203, is a pretty cobbled town with its period architecture, and it's been deservedly named severally in 2021 as one of the best places to live in the UK. The location, toward the east of the Mendip Hills and centring on the River Frome, may not be the most convenient, but it's cool for daily commuters working about 13 miles away in Bath, 43 miles away in Taunton, and 107 miles in London. Others, non-commuters, are happy to be in this town because they enjoy canoeing in the River Frome while having gorgeous riverside walks. Frome affords you all sorts of clubs and classes, including angling and Zumba. 7. Selby. A Halifax survey...
Nice, Selby.
I don't know where Selby is, but then he said Halifax.
It's up in Yorkshire, isn't it?
It's Yorkshire, but I was he referring to the Halifax?
Not the bank.
No, it's like it's a thing put together by them.
Right.
It's like a what do you call it? Like a list
suburb?
of no, like a list. Not the Halifax company.
Oh, I see, right, yeah.
7. Selby. A Halifax survey has named Selby the top spot in Yorkshire when it comes to the quality of life. It's here, based on its high ratings, it enjoys on employment, housing costs, earnings, traffic, education, health and crime. When I mentioned Selby earlier, I didn't add that the Halifax Quality of Life survey found the Selby district particularly attractive for folks seeking a stress-free life, with affordable housing and low rainfall. Now, it's one of the 10 best towns in England. Selby is also well connected, providing easy access to the hustle and bustle of Leeds, York and other nearby cities. 6.
Boom! Hey! That's around the corner from our office.
It is.
And it still needs painting.
Still needs painting, yeah.
We actually had our Christmas do there about 5 years ago, didn't we?
Well, we started. No, it was Christmas drinks we had there. It wasn't our Christmas do.
Drinks.
We just nice. We went out for drinks
Next
after
door
work.
to the
Yeah,
Cresta Court,
Cresta, yeah.
Hotel.
But yeah, George and Dragon.
Nice.
Wonder how many places we'll spot on here then.
All of them are,
Yeah, and maybe we'll get a special mention. That's where the office
Unlikely.
blokes are from.
Our head office.
Altrincham. Altrincham is a market town in Greater Manchester, located south of the River Mersey. It's 8 miles southwest of Manchester city centre. I consider Altrincham one of the 10 best towns in England because of its supremely sociable and boldly independent market. This super suburb has trams and trains right into Manchester. The rate at which this street transformed from the worst high street in Britain to one of the liveliest is remarkable. Also, adding Altrincham to the list of 10 best towns in England are pup-friendly parks, gorgeous period houses, and schools for the benefit of the most tigerish of parents, among others. There are clubs and classes for kids run by the community-minded football club as well. 5.
Wow, loads to unpack there.
The main thing is we should be higher than 6th. That's what I say.
I agree.
I thought if Altrincham was going to be on it, it'd be in the top 2.
It should be.
Yeah. There's even better, nicer looking parts around Altrincham. There's like your goose greens and
Well, they show there the wheat sheaf. That's gone now. It's all fenced off and ready to be refurbed.
Refurbish it, aren't they? And we put apartments.
And they had the market there. That market building is very iconic. I don't know what was it before the market.
It was a market.
It's always been a market.
It was an indoor market. It's been a market since the 1700s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been that's just the main market.
But that whole area around there now has all been redeveloped as well. I don't know the last time you were there, but at the moment they've got all Christmas huts there.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool at the moment.
It's really good around that.
They've opened the Irish
really
pub
nice.
right facing it now as well, Kennedy's.
They have, yeah.
You know, apparently the story with Altrincham, how it came to be, was obviously the Roman settlement of Chester and the Roman settlement of Manchester. Yeah. There was a road that Altrincham wasn't on, essentially going between the two, a Roman road, and then people from the surrounding area sort of bent that road around a little bit to incorporate the little town that was Altrincham at the time.
No, they called they were called Tring, weren't they?
Tring,
and that's the house, in Oldfield Brow, that Tudor house.
Is it?
That's the house, yeah.
Oh wow.
It was up for sale a few years ago, and we had a sniff around a little bit, and then the amount of work that needed doing on it was like,
nah.
But it's got the history all about it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And also, have a drive past it. And have a look.
What he said about going from the worst high street in the country to the best.
Shit, wasn't it?
We talked about this before. We've talked about it loads of times. In fact,
makes it sound worse than it actually was.
Yeah, it was named by the Sun as the worst ghost town in Britain. But where they've built the hospital, there was a big row of empty shops there that they weren't allowed to lease out because they were going to be pulled down.
Cooper Sports.
And and they were taken into account when it was how many empty shops you got on your high street. There was about 12 along that.
Yeah, there was.
There's quite a few.
There's a shop there, which was my first job. I left school, in fact, when it was Boardman's, when it was a furniture shop.
Oh, wow.
That's how long
I remember Boardman's,
there. That's my first job. Left school.
Let's just talk about Altrincham for the rest of the video. We don't even need to see any more of this,
well,
do we?
It's fantastic now. But yeah, that was a bit thingy, wasn't it? It was a bit sort of...
It was skewed statistics to say it was the biggest ghost town.
As that, really, but
yeah, especially if you looked at house prices versus it being the worst ghost town in Britain. They didn't really tally up, did they?
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's hear these other crappy towns that he's going to talk about.
As well, I suppose.
Wokingham. The next city in my list of 10 best towns in England is Wokingham. You can't contest this one. Several leading surveys rank it as one of the best places in England, and I've once added my accolade. This market town is not far from Reading, Camberley, Bracknell and Maidenhead. Also, it's easily accessible. It has its own train station leading directly into London Waterloo. Wokingham enjoys loud ovations owing to its low crime rate, high family satisfaction, good schools and smooth transport links. It often tops lists of family-friendly locations. If anyone outside the town is in doubt, the residents say they are enjoying good health, and thus it's one of the healthiest places to live in not just England, but the whole of the UK. 4. Ilkley. Ilkley in West Yorkshire finds its way to the list of the 10 best towns in England as it already tops all the list in the north and northeast. This eco-conscious town pars beauty with humour. Full of hills and crags, the former spa town of Ilkley has a special appeal to residents and visitors. The town attaches the highest importance to preserving the ecosystem. Carbon footprint is being carefully monitored. In fact, the town has a climate action group that takes it upon itself to ensure that the town remains free of pollution. It's...
Curtain switches. He's only gone and bought a bloody new car, hasn't he?
It's not electric.
Example, undertaking the Ilkley Clean River campaign to accomplish the cleansing of the River Wharfe. What more could be required to list it as one of the 10 best towns in England? 3. Stamford, Lincolnshire. Stamford in Lincolnshire has since registered its name in the books of the history of England. It's been recognised as an important crossing point on the River well as an important Saxon burgh. It's also one of the 5 boroughs in charge of Danelaw. The formerly wall-made town has kept its period charms while its broadband is cool. These are not the only reasons Stamford ranked top. In the last 10 years, it has consistently found its way to the list of the top best towns in England. In some recent rankings, the town was again named one of the best places to live in Britain, in addition to being one of the top 10 in the Midlands.
Looks nice.
For this and many more reasons, I consider Stamford to be one of the 10 best towns in England. 2. Berkhamsted.
Never heard of it.
No idea.
Berkhamsted is a town in the county of Hart.
It's got a really good Oxfam, apparently. That's what I heard.
Where was it? Hertfordshire, was he going to say?
In the east.
Yeah.
Just 4 miles to the town of Tring and to the major town of Hemel-Hempstead. Berkhamsted, also 26 miles northwest of London, lies southeast of the Buckinghamshire border. Berkhamsted declares itself a transition town, implying that residents of the town need to consider sustainability, which is the hallmark of this lovely market town, topping the list for the southeast. Among the various factors adding Berkhamsted to my list of the best towns in England are job opportunities, leisure facilities, excellent schooling, culture, shops, transportation, open green spaces and broadband speed. Berkhamsted has a fast and direct link to London via train and efficient road connections. 1. Stroud.
Yeah, I knew that.
Again, the town of Stroud is crowning this list.
Yeah.
What more can be said about the town, where every single Saturday is always a spectacle? A breezy stroll in the town centre greets your eyes with the sight of families queuing at stalls to sell donuts, and your nose with the smell of Thai food that fills the air. Another typical sight in this best town in England is that of a lone woman striding past with a large piece of cardboard bearing the inscription, "Stop Racism." Everywhere in this beautiful town, you see the direction of wooded hills appearing through gaps between buildings. You can also see a dog in a life jacket floating on a paddleboard on the restored canal. In this one of the best towns of England, things are happening pointing to the fact that everyone aims at keeping the town independent and local. You'd have no difficulty in agreeing that these are presently the best towns in England. However, if you know of any towns that should have been included, or
it's interesting that.
Yeah, I read about Stroud on the last survey they did.
Yeah.
Stroud was number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like Gloucestershire or something?
Gloucestershire, yeah. It's around that way anyway.
So I thought something like, I was thinking something like Bath might be on it, but I presume that's a city, is it?
I think it is a city.
I think it's a city,
Must be, mustn't it?
Yeah. I think like some of his metrics were obviously pushes for sustainability and things like that.
Yeah.
And Altrincham is currently the Range Rover capital of the world.
Mate, if you sit in
more per person.
If you sit in the pub and watch the cars go by at one of the windows, you'd think someone was giving them away for free at the top of the street.
I know.
It's like every single car is some form of Range Rover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll get something like a Lambo in between, or a McLaren, McLaren and G-Wagon. Then you'll get another row of like Range Rovers going past. And they can't drive them through them little roads.
No.
I
keep seeing.
I just go straight in.
Yeah.
Move out of the way. Yeah.
I keep seeing young lads driving G-Wagons that are obviously footballers or something, and I'm like, it's a lady's car, mate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be seen dead in one.
Can you come and give me a trim? Which hairdresser's yours, mate?
It's a good video. I must admit, I mean, some of his pictures were a bit choice.
They were all about 20 years ago, weren't they? If you look at the cars,
old, and there was quite a few pedestrian crossings and traffic lights involved there. But
I think we can be critical because we know the area quite well.
Certainly,
well, we know it very well, don't we?
Yeah.
Not just quite well. We know it very well.
Yeah.
I didn't see any pictures of Broadheath in there.
No,
well, that's it.
That was
Or Timperley.
Yeah.
Altrincham has sort of grown, hasn't it? Because where I think, what is it that there's now an Altrincham West? Is it?
That's where. No, it's Timperley West, isn't it?
No, but it's all changed around because obviously my bro's in the house that I grew up in, and he's had something where they've moved a boundary recently, essentially making Altrincham bigger.
Yeah.
And I think it's to capitalise on the house prices of Altrincham.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
Because there's more Altrincham now, so there's more,
Well, places like that come under Altrincham, like Broadheath comes under Altrincham.
Yeah, so does
Timperley comes under Altrincham.
Yeah, they're town. Then there's like Hale, Timperley, villages sort of surrounding.
Maldon comes under Altrincham.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're all encompassed by sort of Altrincham, aren't they? So
even Bowden Vale, which is the old field brow of over there.
It is correct. Used to play football for them.
That's such a specific joke. No one's going to get.
No one will get that.
Anyway,
It's good that.
Hope you found that interesting about our towns in the UK with us on the list.
Yeah.
Don't forget, like and subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.